Today on the episode, the episode. Hey everybody, I'm AveCam and you're awesome for watching Media Induced. Today on the episode we have Halo 5 versus Halo Reach, which is kind of like saying, esport versus story, substance, practicality. Oh boy. But stay tuned, and at the end of the show we're going to have a little update on Beyond Good and Evil 2. But first, as most of you know, the rest of the episode won't be as fun without this segment. First off, a little history. Bungie was first contracted by Microsoft to make Halo Combat Evolved, and what started out as a top-down strategy game became an immersive first-person shooter. With every new studio, they have their hiccups and their glitches and their limitations, and Halo was really limited on their graphics and their mechanics, and basically was just one of the very first first-person shooters ever made for the console. And so they had a lot of work going into it, and after Halo 3, Bungie was like, we're kind of fed up with Halo, we want to do something else. And they were, trying to start a new multiplayer game online. And Microsoft was like, no, you're going to make 2 more games for us. So they took the engine from Halo 3 and they made Halo 3 ODST. ODST was a more dark and gritty Halo, a neo-noir of sorts. And it starred the Rookie, which you play as the main character. But as you find clues as to where his lost squad mates are, you play through as those squad members. And you find out what really happened to him. Very interesting gameplay. I love the story, the soundtrack, the just overallness of the game. It was a phenomenal game. And then they made Halo Reach, which is basically Bungie's last attempt to just get rid of Halo. They wanted to just make something, polish it up, ship it out, and get rid of it, and be done with Halo, so they can make, Destiny. So they're doing this, and they're like, hey, we have a new engine, let's utilize the new engine. They used new textures and new graphics and new gameplay mechanics, and it was a phenomenal game. Bungie, at their worst, still made a phenomenal game. Now, 343 is on their second run, so it would be fair to, kind of compare Halo 2 to Halo 5. Halo 5 could have been so much more. So let's start off with what Halo 5 did right. The first thing they did right was they hired Tim Longo. You may remember his name from Republic Commandos, the Star Wars game, where you play a squad member, you can control your squad mates and telling them what to do, like go breach that door, or go clear that room, or stay here and defend, or go there and attack. It was a phenomenal mechanic to just squad-based games everywhere. And he was the main guy in charge of it. So they hired him on, they're like, let's make Halo 5 a squad-based game. Because without Cortana, you need someone to tell you where to go, what the mission is, keep you updated, and keep the story live and active. So they hired him on to get these squad members to help you out, tell you what to do, and also you can tell them what to do. But it falls a little short, as the only things you can really do are tell him to attack a certain bad guy, or tell him to pick up a certain gun, or tell him to stay put. That's all you can really do in Halo 5 with your squad. The second thing they did right was they hired Nathan Fillion to reprise his role as Buck. No longer the ODST, he is now a Spartan and ready for battle. But his moral compass is a little shaken when he finds out that his mission is to hunt down the Master Chief. Well, now that we talked about what they did right, let's talk about what they did wrong. So Halo 5 eventually brought back Firefight after Halo 4's what other people call a fundamental flaw with Spartan Ops, which I think was amazing. It made the game feel so much bigger. Adding these new levels every week or every month, and 5 new episodes. You basically had a huge game. And yeah, you had to buy a few of the downloads, you had to buy the packs and whatnot. I don't mind that. I would much rather do packs than these. We'll get into rec packs later. But the new Firefight is just a war zone without the other team. It's ridiculously hard. There's no level variations. It's all one level. Almost impossible bad guys at the end. I have yet to play a game where, the 8 of us defeat the 3 wardens at the end. Ever. I've defeated one or two, never all three. Never won those ones. They have a new grunt, Gruntpocalypse, I guess you could call it. It's just a grunt in this huge mech, and he's a beast, but he is defeatable at least, unlike the three wardens. And then you have the characters. Now, why would you bring back Cortana after she had such an emotional death in Halo 4? In Halo 1 through 3, I was like, this chick needs to get off of her permanent period and start getting her head in the game. She's an AI, not some emotional, whimsical character that can just, freak out whenever she wants. And it made me a little curious as to why the UNSC would have such an emotional AI. And then in Halo 5, they have another emotional AI by Roland. Why would you have UNSC AI that emotional and unstable?
Line,
yes, sir.
You wouldn't.
So is
The UNSC would, the military in general, would never have something like that. Ever. I wouldn't put them in charge of my toilet seat.
You think she tricked the Master
Ever.
Chief into abandoning his post?
But somehow they bring back another one, Roland, who's just as emotionally unstable as Cortana was.
Because she refused
He
to
freaks
die
out on his superiors when he's like, hey, you guys all just want to kill Cortana just because she, doesn't want to die? And, we're like, no, she wants to kill us all. That's why we want to take her out. Has nothing to do with if she wants to live or not. If she just wanted to live and survive, God bless. See ya. So your whole mission is basically to take out Cortana, and in the long run, you come across these other Spartans who apparently, since you've been in hibernation sleep, they've come out with a bunch more Spartans, and they don't need to, kidnap little kids anymore. They can just make Spartans out of adults apparently now, which is really ridiculous. Now, some of the people say the characters in Reach were bland and, very dull. No, that's battle-hardened people. If you look at the real military people, war veterans, they get that little, desensitization to everything. They're not all, hey, look at me, I'm whimsical and exciting and fun. No, they're very calm, stoic, and they have that sensibility about them that says, I don't give a shit, I'm doing my mission, and that's all. Kind of like the scene that you get from Carter when he's talking to Dr. Halsey, and he kind of threatens her like he could arrest her for interfering with, the winter contingency and whatnot. And she goes, are you, are you arguing with me, Spartan, or something like that? I forget the exact words. And then he's like, nope, just making a reading, ma'am, and then moves on, That's what they do. Me, personally, I was in the military. I've seen it firsthand. The more you're in there, the more tours you do, the more you just get to this emotionless state where you're just like, okay, this is everyday life. So in Halo Reach, you had armor that made sense. You had a set of armor, they told you what it was used for, and you were like, yeah, you know what, that matches up, I can see it. In Halo 5, they show you the armor, and they don't give you a description of what it was used for or why. They just are there, and you're like, who made this armor? Who's using this armor? And why? So impractical. They have helmets that have no visor. Just a bunch of crap stuck on your helmet. Halo Reach, it's the future. They should look smooth and sleek and, like you want to put it on your head. Not like some weird, messed up, punched-in-the-face transformer. Seriously, they have a shark-looking thing. They have, like, a snake helmet. I mean, if 343 just, like... It's almost like 343 was like, you know what? We don't want to deal with this. Let's ship it out to some third-world country to, design the armors and whatnot. And then, you have these armors, like Air Assault or Pilot. What are they doing? Why were they invented? There's no Air Assault in the game whatsoever. There's no air vehicles. You have the Pelican, and that's it. Apparently, they thought the Falcon and the Hornet and all these other things were just, too stupid or something. I don't know. The Hornet I thought was a great idea, and the Falcon even better. They called it the Warthog of the Sky. What better description for the Falcon? None. But somehow they forgot how to make them, or just threw away the plans, and they said, no, we don't need them anymore. Let's get rid of them. So we've talked about the impracticalities of Halo 5. We've talked about the very loose storing. We've talked about even the firefight being bad. But now we're going to talk about the horribly bad, like the wreck packs. Oh my god. God awful. First of all, they're completely random. Nobody likes it. At least Mass Effect 3 was like, hey, you want a weapons pack? You want a character pack? You want you could have a vehicle pack for Halo. You have ammunition. You have weapons. You have vehicles. You have, armor, I guess, instead of characters. I mean, then you have your perks or your abilities and all that other jazz. I mean, you could have different style packs for different style people. So that if someone wants, like, hey, I want, a perks pack. They can buy the perks pack. Or, hey, I want some new vehicles. They can buy the vehicle pack. Instead of this just random crap where you have just randomness. It makes no sense. In Halo Reach, you had, hey, I have this armor that I can see. It's not unlocked yet because I haven't reached that level. You reach that level, you unlock it, then you just need the credits to buy it, and you can wear it. You know? And you can show off, hey, look at me. I'm this level, and I had this much money. I must be pretty good. Whereas in Halo 5, the level means nothing. It's just a number. I don't even think I've looked at it since I never look at someone's level anymore in that game. It's pointless. It's basically a number to represent how much you play Halo. If you play it a lot, your number's going to be really big. If you play it a little, your number's going to be small. That's the gist of Halo. Because you can't tell by the armor. Someone can play day one, get a legendary armor by a completely random pack, versus someone who's played the whole first year and still hasn't gotten the uncommon that they want. And it's just it makes no sense. The people who designed this were just thinking, hey, let's just push this out there and shove it in their faces and make them pay more money for the little things that they want instead of, giving them, packs map packs or character packs or anything like that. Instead of giving them what they want for money, let's just give them a bunch of, meaningless crap for money. And people buy it. They buy it all the time. I bought one pack. And I was like, this is pointless. Completely random. There's no sense to it. There's no order. It's just chaos. The whole Halo 5 is just chaos. Anyone can play anyone. There's no level discrepancies. There's no matchmaking. It's just, hey, you want to play a game? These people want to play a game. Throw them together. Hey, this squad of 4 is pro and on the pro circuit playing every day, and this guy, plays once a month. Let's throw them in the same battle against each other. It'll be fun. Oh my, I don't know what they were thinking, but let's move on. Moving on to Beyond Good and Evil 2. Now, Beyond Good and Evil is a 2003 game developed by Michael Ansel for Ubisoft about a photojournalist named Jade trying to keep her family, a house of wayward alien kids run by a pig named Paige, safe from the Dom invasion. And Doms were these evil alien parasites. And on her journey to do so, she uncovers a government conspiracy. Unfortunately, the original didn't sell well, and its open-world maps and stealth-like gameplay wasn't enough to turn this cult classic into an instant hit. But it has since gathered quite the following, with its HD release in 2011 for PS3 and Xbox 360, and later, backwards compatibility for PS4 and Xbox One. Michael Ansel, the creator of Rayman, has been hard at work, but says there is still a lot to be done on the sequel. Since the teaser trailer in 2008, he has released some concept art for characters and locations, so you can imagine he's still in the developing stages of the graphics and the characters, and let alone the mechanics. Since he has said on his Instagram that he is adding space travel and new worlds, they have a lot more modeling and texturing to go. Now that he is done with Rayman Legends and Wild, he can focus more on Beyond Good and Evil 2. He has said he couldn't do it without Ubisoft, and that Sony has been a lot of help. Now, does this mean that it's going to be a Sony exclusive? I don't know. I can only speculate. Does this mean that they're going to have Sony exclusive content? I'm pretty sure they will. Now, there's been some rumors that it's going to be a Nintendo-based game for the new Nintendo console. He has not said anything like that. In fact, nowhere is it stated on his sites anything about Nintendo. But they have said that they're going to add space travel and different planets, so it's going to be kind of like a Mass Effect type game, where you can visit other planets and other locations and different worlds entirely. I'm hoping there's going to be some sort of in-between space travel gameplay, because that would be awesome. I love piloting ships and exploring, and to do that in the Beyond Good and Evil would just be amazing. For me, personally. Cheers. Oh. It's like it gets worse the more you drink. It's weird.